Was invoking the Emergencies Act a necessary measure?
It's a tough question. I think when the Prime Minister elicited to put it in place, probably the right time, a little bit late maybe. And I know it allows them to cut some red tape and allow the police to kind of gather together and get rid of the convoy. So yeah, I'm not against it. I think it was a good idea.
I do understand them implementing it. I think we're going to have more of a public inquiry to find out whether or not it was actually justified at the time based on the intelligence that they had.
I think it was unfortunately necessary, yes. I don't see any other way that they could have gotten rid of the convoy people. The police didn't have the jurisdiction they needed. They didn't have the manpower they needed. The government didn't have the rules and regulations set up.
We obviously weren't getting where we had to be with respect to getting rid of that protest, which was going on for some three weeks. That's no longer a protest, that was an insurgency. And the measures that were in place weren't working. We needed more, and when it's an intergovernmental approach where who is in charge of what, you have to have the guy on top telling us what the story is and how it's going to play out.
Like, I do think that we should have the right to protest, and obviously making the protest illegal is, like, unfortunate. But at the same time, like, it's important that the people who actually live here have an opportunity to go about their lives as usual, because I'm sure not everyone in Ottawa supported the truckers being here. And so for those people to not want to be a part of it and still have their livelihoods greatly affected by it, I think that's unfortunate.
I think it expedited the removal of the blockade. Whether or not we needed an emergency act to do what they eventually did remains to be seen. There's an inquiry or something to decide on that. I think it certainly prompted reactions from the people organizing the blockade, and eventually 4 of them were arrested, and some of them are still paying for it. I don't think I'll buy a truck.
No, because the current options they had available to them were not capable of dealing with the situation at hand, and therefore something had to be done. Is it a great look that they had to do it? No. I would have preferred if it could have been handled in a better way, but that option didn't look like it was present.
The reason that Justin Trudeau did that was because it gave him more power over the people that are fighting for their rights.
No, I don't think so. I haven't been following much, but they didn't look violent to me. It didn't really seem like it seemed a little drastic, right? And they're freezing people's bank accounts, and it's pretty crazy.
People are petrified now, and so what's next? You know, are the army going to come down the street next? You know, but I wish that we can just resolve things without going to such measures. People should be respectful of. If we didn't have laws, then it would be absolutely crazy out there. But it's absolutely crazy out there with laws in place. So we've got to have something, right? Boundaries.
Yeah, the radical protest I consider it radical in Ottawa right now. I do agree with, getting the RCMP in and figuring that out. But it's just tough if it's all protests, because if the ones that we agree with, then you don't want that. So
it was a good step because tons of people were outside protesting and stuff. I feel that everybody should be heard, but at the same time, there should be some limit. We should do things within a limit. Yeah.
It has to be dealt with somehow, and I firmly believe in our government and their decisions, and I think what happened was a necessary evil. We had to deal with it the way we thought best.
I don't believe it was. I believe that the laws that we had in place should have been able to cover it.
Honestly, I feel that it was, because we needed to basically look at the whole entire situation and take all bunch of information into account. And I feel like you always need to take a pause to get that information so that you can make informed decisions. So I do feel like there was a period of time that was needed to do this, so that we could get prepared, so we could know how to deal with this so we could make sure we're being safe as possible. So yeah, I do feel that it was a good thing that happened, and you know, now that we're moving into phase 1, obviously everything we've done has led us to this point. So yeah, I think it was a good thing.
I don't feel that invoking the Emergencies Act was, because everything that took care of the protests was done through existing laws and existing legislation.
Those people did not have the right. It's a free country, yes, I know, but they did not have the right to basically put all these other people, not in jail, but basically behind the closed curtain. That is not what our life in Canada is supposed to be like.